general nerdery.
So my family's been dealing with a lot of like end of life stuff lately. You know, starting this podcast off on a super positive note here, boys. Don't worry, it gets good. But yeah, and it's just one generation's really old, next generation's getting older. I am no longer a young chipper child, so like let's figure this shit out now so we can worry about it later. And the point of this is that I am going to be setting up a will sometime in the next year. That's like my big goal. But as I was thinking about stuff that's going to go into the will, I start thinking about the shit that I own. And mostly what I own can be broken down into 3 categories: comic books, Belagarth phone sighting supplies, and art supplies. And I just imagine if I have to talk to some fucking lawyer about this, the most wild fucking will that's going to be coming up in this. Well, the Green Lantern comics are going here, and the Nightwing has to go to Roar.
I love that. Yeah. Just as long as you remember, your body's your own, your water is the tribe's.
Gave tears to the dead. Welcome to General Nerdery, your podcast about liking things. We're your generals of nerdery. I'm Zach.
I'm Tyler.
And once again with us, we have the best of boys himself.
Hello, I'm William.
Will, I saw you on Saturday, but it's still good to see you again.
And it is good to be back here again.
It's good to see you again because it's been a lot longer than that for me. So
yeah, we haven't.
It's been a while.
You haven't been on the show, I don't think, since what? Your Fave is Problematic?
Yeah, I think that was the last one.
You were on that and the first Pokemon one.
Yeah, I think this is...
God, I don't think you two have seen each other since our last Earworm meeting, which was before COVID.
Yeah.
So...
yeah, it's been a minute. So
oh my God.
It's good to have you back.
On the note of Earworm, real quick, I was meaning to say this. If you listen to the 3 shows that Tyler and I do together on Earworm, I kind of want to give a slight apology for the fact that our production rates have been dog shit lately. There is 4 or 5 people involved in the creation of the 3 different shows, and every single one of us has had something bad that's made us have to cancel. Not like life-ending bad, but like... oh, bad. Shit, I can't record, oh, I've been quarantined. Oh, I lost my voice. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Mm-hmm. And none of it's happened at the same time. It's been like...
naturally.
Monday's coming up. Well, guess I better cancel the thing for, like, way more than I want to do. So, I apologize. Hopefully we're getting back on schedule. I'm not promising that because that's the best way to guarantee I just got COVID.
Right, right. But...
boy, howdy.
Fingers crossed. I'm not going to knock on wood because it would fuck with our sound, but...
I know it's always scary when podcasts start missing their updates. We promise we're still working on stuff. We're going bigger in the upcoming year. But, yeah. What have we been ingesting lately?
What have we been... I mean, as previously mentioned, and as I expected, I did beat Mass Effect 2. So
you're on to 3?
So I'm on to 3. I'm like 2 hours into 3. I haven't been able to put too much time into it yet because life. But I'm super enjoying that still. And other than that, it's actually been mostly like listening to the audiobook of Dune to just get it all super fresh in my mind again.
Do you have the Audible one?
Yes.
Okay, I have to ask you, what do you think of their choice of having a different person for each... like a different cast member for each person talking?
That makes me like it more.
Really?
Because, okay, so here's the thing. Now that I have started to listen to more audiobooks, because it is a lot easier to prepare for the podcast that way, it turns out, I have found what I don't like most about them and what has... I can actually, like, vocalize why I avoided audiobooks for so long. Because they're not adaptations. They're just somebody reading the fucking book at you.
Interesting. That's what I like about them.
If
I get what you're saying, but like...
if I'm hearing a story audibly, I want it told as a story. And the way that you tell a story, if you're just telling it out loud to someone, and the way that you tell it when you're writing it down is different.
Okay, I can see that.
Yeah.
I definitely want to say I'm not always like, no, I don't like if there's multiple people going, because like World War Z worked as well as it did because of the cast. Go listen to the episode. I'm fucking over the moon about the cast we have on that. But I found it really distracting in this one.
See, for me, the more ways you can make it into more of an adaptation, the more I like it.
Fair. I think what bothers me, and this is kind of diving into the weeds, is one, I mean, I thought the narrator was pretty good, so I just didn't really need more, but again, me thing. But what bothered me is whenever it's internal monologue, the narrator just read it out in his voice for those characters. But whenever it's spoken dialogue, it's the cast member. And it took me a minute to figure out what was happening. And I'm like, what? Are their editors just fucking terrible? Why do they not do? Like, Paul's supposed to be doing this voice, not omniscient narrator pretending to be oh, it's his inside voice. And it pulled me out every time that they did that, unfortunately.
I will say, though, also the way that I have been listening to audiobooks, I have had to get past a couple issues with voice anyway, because I refuse to listen to them at one-time speed. I am not spending that fucking long on a book.
Yeah, I've got a 41-hour audiobook coming up, and I've not dived into it for that exact reason.
And so, much like I edit our podcasts at least 1.5 times speed, I have been kicking every audiobook I've been listening to up to about 1.6.
So you've just been listening to like Dune
No, so
with like the Benny Hill theme?
No,
going
they
in the
don't.
background?
They don't do like it. Doesn't turn it into the Chipmunks version. Like they have. They do have like there's some processing that compensates, and so it pitches things back down to the pitch that they should be. But you can hear that processing sometimes.
I can see that. Okay. I might have to try that out for some books. I don't know. It's interesting. Let's see. For myself, I last night DM'd, I guess DM is not the right term because that's D&D specific, but I was the keeper for a Monster of the Week campaign, which is a Powered by the Apocalypse TTRPG, tabletop role-playing game. It's D&D, but not D&D for those of you who do not play D&D. I'm going to go with DM'd or GM'd because keepered sounds weird. But the idea of this game is very specifically based off the classic Monster of the Week format of, you know, X-Files, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, even stuff like Xena Warrior Princess would count, or Smallville, which is what kind of really got me into it when we did the Smallville episodes. But to do it very thematically correct, we have set it in 1995, which is the height of like the Monster of the Week as a genre of television that was going on.
Okay.
And then Cece's character is, I'm not going to go into because that gets boring, but she decided that watching Batman was going to be a very pivotal moment for her character. And so I was like, oh man, I know what Batman to put on. Like, because you've never seen the Batman of this that would have been coming out at the time. So I put on Batman Forever. One, not realizing that it is literally the #1 movie in the exact month that I put them in. It's like, oh fuck. I watched Batman Forever for the first time in probably 20 years. Now, we have discussed on the podcast before, Batman Forever was a literal life-changing moment for me because I thought comics were dumb. And then my babysitter had rented Batman Forever because she also worked at Crazy Mike's Video.
And you were just pulled in by the power of Val Kilmer's pouty lips.
I was changed forever. Which is funny because someone talked about, I think it was Steven, our Word Balloons editor and Stowaway, that a lot of people watched Batman Forever and suddenly realized that they were gay, and I watched Batman Forever and realized I was a comic book fan. But it was amazing to watch for the first, like, it's not a good movie. I should say that while saying it's amazing to watch. But it is so interesting to watch it as an adult.
It has moments that are legit good.
Uh-huh. And most
The
of
cold open is legit, like, super
one of the best
Batman-y.
Batman scenes ever filmed.
Now it has been an age and a half since I've seen these.
Tommy
ones.
Lee Jones as Two-Face, Jim Carrey as the Riddler,
Okay.
Val Kilmer as Batman, and Nicole Kidman as a really terrible psychologist.
Okay.
What was her name?
Chase Meridian.
Thank you.
Weird other little bit of like mix in. Chase Meridian was introduced to the comic books for the first time last month.
What?
Yep. Chase Meridian is now part of DC canon.
Yes. I don't know why that makes me so happy.
Because
but that makes me
because I was 7 when I first watched this movie, which means Nicole Kidman was one of the first women to make me feel things that I did not understand at the age of 7. In the scene where she shows up on top of the police building. How did she get in there, first of all? Wearing the lingerie because she set off the bat signal to try and seduce Batman. The first sign that she's maybe not a great psychiatrist. She also makes a lot of jokes about black rubber in that scene that I didn't get when I was a kid.
nice.
It is... Do I recommend you watch it? 100% wholeheartedly. You should watch this movie with an open mind and see what we have kind of taken from it as superhero stuff. Am I going to recommend it as a movie that is like quality that you will grow from as a person? Abso-fucking-lutely not. But I did ride the high of this movie for like 3 days afterwards. Just like happy childhood nostalgia bubbles.
Will?
Let's see. Well, a lot of my time's been going to Deep Rock Galactic.
I don't know what that is.
Let's see. Picture...
I've heard the name.
Yeah, let's say combine Minecraft with Starship Troopers.
Okay.
So, going underground, and there's all these bugs down there that want to kill you, but
Okay.
thankfully...
Neil Patrick Harris is on your side?
And he's a psychic!
But thankfully, you're a tough-as-rock dwarf.
Okay, that part's cool, but unfortunately the no Neil Patrick Harris is a psychic, like putting that in there has just ruined this game for me.
I can promise you, they do at least have a shit ton of references to Starship Troopers. They have multiple lines that are kind of just ripped straight from...
Terrible goddamn movie, but it is a lot of fun.
You know, I would like to know more.
God.
You're fired. You're not, because you're the editor and I don't actually know how to edit podcasts, but...
But yeah, you're a dwarf. You go underground for whatever mission it is that the company...
Because you're dwarves, that's what you fucking do.
Yeah.
The company, Deep Rock Galactic, sends you in, and
So are you space dwarves?
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, you're space
I'm back in.
dwarves.
I'm back in.
They occasionally talk smack on elves.
Can you wear all red as a dwarf in
The
space?
engineer wears all red.
Does it make you go faster? Is that the joke you're making here?
No, I just wanted to be a red dwarf.
Oh my god. Oh man, that made me angry. Okay. Good.
Pretend I'm working for the Jupiter Mining Corps.
Did you ever watch Red Dwarf? You messaged me for like 2 months.
No, I need to, and it just
It's a little hard to get your hands on.
Yeah, and I'm lazy about acquiring media, so I mean, it's going to happen eventually because your guys' episode talking about it.
Talk us into it. Another successful general nerdery.
But it'll be a while just because I'm lazy about acquiring media.
Oh,
and
there's so fucking
and
much.
Yeah. But yeah, you're a dwarf. You go underground. There's bugs that try to kill you. And at the end of each mission, you have, like, a desperate scramble to get back to the drop pod. Because as mission control reminds you at the end of every mission, drop pod will leave with or without you.
Oh.
Thank you for your service to Deep Rock Galactic.
I was wondering for just a second if it's because the worms always come.
If you haven't noticed, we're doing a Dune episode today, so there's going to be a lot of those references until the movie part comes up.
Let's see. And I guess speaking of worms, apparently, I've also been I've been playing Back for Blood, which I guess is, I understand from like a very tiny bit of background I've done in that game. I guess their zombies are caused by worms or some shit. I don't really know.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's zombies.
Yeah. Zombies shoot them.
What caused the zombies is the least interesting part of zombies.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge Walking Dead fan, but they at least, like, they had that part figured out pretty quick.
Agreed. It's like, oh, zombies. Looks like we have a zombie problem.
Why? Who cares?
Yeah. And I mean, for those of you who have not played Back for Blood, if you've played Left 4 Dead,
Oh, that's what this is. I wanted to play that.
It's more it's Left 4 Dead, but I would say evolved with a little more strategic depth.
Well, it's been like 10 years.
No, and it's Left 4 Dead, but grown grown a little bit further.
Left 4 Dead 2 is in my top 3 of the zombie genre, which means it's one of like 4 things I like in the zombie genre.
It's Left 4 Dead, but it's legally not Left 4 Dead.
Is it not Valve or
It's I don't know.
It's a spiritual successor. It's a lot of the same people that worked on it, but it's not actually
because you've refused to do Left 4 Dead 3 since Zach was in college. You playing that on the Switch?
Nope. I do almost all of my gaming on PC, though I do, after having played Pokemon Mystery Dungeon on my Switch at your house.
Through the whole movie, yes.
Yeah, like 3 days ago, I am probably going to be playing a lot more Switch for the next at least month. At least a month.
I don't play it a whole lot anymore, but mostly because every time I turn around, my wife is once again playing Breath of the Wild, and I would never deprive someone of Breath of the Wild because it's fucking glorious. So,
it's fair.
I haven't told this on the.
Yeah.
We're thinking of Breath of the Wild. So, you've played it. I don't think you have.
No.
I'm pointing at people. They can't see this.
I have not played it.
There we go.
I have.
So, one of the things in Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is there are things called Koroks.
Yes.
And you have to find...
I do understand this
much. If you
much
find that, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah, you found me.
It is my wife's absolute favorite thing. I should just say Cece. You all know her at this point. She's been on the show. Her absolute favorite thing in the game is to find Koroks. So I bought an unstated number of Korok plushes and have hid them around the house.
Nice. Hell yeah.
With little notes saying, "Yahaha, you found me," which is what they say, and she can replicate unnervingly well.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
And it's like the highest tier husband move I have ever pulled off, and I do not know how to top it, and I'm scared to try.
We'll figure out something.
I got time.
Should we get into some news? What do we got for news?
Tastic 4.
What do we want to start with?
Let's do Star Wars first. It's easy and quick.
Okay, so we officially have casting for Sabine Wren in the Star Wars Ahsoka series that's going to be coming up on Disney+, and Natasha Liu Bordizzo, who most recently has been in, I believe it's a Netflix series, The Society.
I think so, yes. Sabine Wren is one of the main characters in Rebels. It was kind of assumed with what Ahsoka has been taking and what Mandalorian has been taking from Rebels that she was going to appear eventually. Without giving away too much, at the very end of Rebels, Ahsoka leaves with Sabine. So the moment they said they were doing a Ahsoka show, we knew this was going to happen. That said, this news is cool, but I don't think either one of us have much to say about it because I've never seen anything she's in, and you haven't ever watched Rebels.
Right, so cool. Like, she looks great.
I'm still of the opinion that we don't need to make everything cool this animated live action, but Rebels is probably my all-time favorite Star Wars thing, so I am excited for more of Sabine's journey. Mm-hmm. She's my favorite Mandalorian, and Mandalorians are one of my favorite things in Star Wars. So she's fucking S-ranked tier.
Yeah, she's up there.
Plus, she does tie-dye armor, and as Will know from playing Wacky Backs with me, I love putting as many bright colors on my armor as I can. I'm up to like 8 right now.
Brilliant. Yeah, I wish I had more to say, but I just haven't put the time in to get to Rebels yet. So
it's there, it's cool. Fucking watch Rebels, it's worth your time. The only reason I've suggested we do a Rebels show on this is because I know you haven't finished Clone Wars yet.
Right. We should probably do a Clone Wars show first to make me watch it.
Oh boy. We have a big 4-parter come up, which is way bigger than anything we've ever done. So I am not thinking about big projects until that one is done.
I agree.
Let's see, what do we want to... Let's do Spider-Man next.
Oh, right. So they dropped what I believe is the final full trailer before we start getting only TV spots for Spider-Man No Way Home.
This is pretty much the point that I stopped watching trailers. I know you're the same way.
Yeah, I don't care for TV spots.
I want to hear your thoughts on this, Will, because we watched this just before, and I don't even know if you have thoughts on Spider-Man. But it does kind of show that everything they showed off as like the big things in the first trailer look like it's about the first 20 minutes of this movie. Mm-hmm. And I kind of wish we hadn't gotten this trailer, because that would have been a good... I was already sold, and that would have been a good gimme. That would have been a good surprise. It would have been James Gunn killing off half the Suicide Squad in the first 13 minutes of the Suicide Squad.
Right. Yeah, first, Will, any thoughts?
I mean, it's fun to see this rendition of Doc Ock back.
Alfred Molina is the thing I am absolutely most excited about. He is my all-time favorite version of Doc Ock.
It's been a very long time since I have watched that particular Spider-Man, but I very much...
I've been scared to watch it because I don't want it to be bad in retrospect. I don't think it is. But
just
I've
in case.
been really wanting to risk it.
Just in case. I get that.
Because I legitimately thought Batman Forever was great for like 10 years, and like, let that settle.
So it's a Sinister Six movie, right?
Yes, it is. I did find it like, come on, what the fuck? When they rebuilt Electro to look fucking sweet.
Yeah.
By the way, like what Electro should have looked like in Amazing Spider-Man 2. And yet they kept the fucking original Sam Raimi Green Goblin armor. They did some tweaks, but like...
Minor tweaks, but it's pretty much the same.
There was a period in the early 2000s where we could not accept that the Green Goblin's just kind of fucking sweet. We don't need to turn him into a giant, like, werewolf goblin man thing, and we don't need to turn him into a fucking Iron Man power armor. We could just let him be a weirdo dressing like a goblin. Like, how do you not love that?
We do seem to maybe have two goblins.
Yes.
Whoever the second goblin is.
Someone messaged me about that, and I was like, nah, I don't think so. And then I watched it on your big-ass TV, and I was like, oh, fuck. I didn't, because I don't think it's the James Franco version, because one, no one wants to deal with James Franco anymore, and two, he had, oh god, it wasn't even the broomstick, he had the fucking flying snowboard.
Yeah.
Instead of a goblin glider. And I'm like, no, hold on. You took one of the coolest pieces of bizarre supervillain tech. A glider that you stick your feet on shaped like a bat. That you just fly for like, and hope nothing bad goes down. And you gave him a fucking skateboard like 5 years too late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, second one, I don't know. It very briefly on screen, maybe Dane DeHaan?
Yeah, but Dane DeHaan's version sucks too.
Yeah. Maybe just New Goblin.
I don't...
There's universes colliding.
Yes. Both versions of Harry... Okay, interestingly, my favorite versions of Doc Ock are the two ones from movies.
Mm-hmm.
And the two worst versions of Harry Osborn are the ones from the movies. He's a little bitch in both of them.
I agree.
And I mean, Harry Osborn is a little bitch. Like, that's kind of always been, like, a major facet of his character. But I almost want to say they were too good at, like, zoning in on that. Was not Dane DeHaan's fan, not a huge fan of him, but it wasn't his fault.
Now, we didn't watch it, but in the international version of that same trailer, in the big shot where everybody's jumping at each other, where Sandman's in the background, it goes on literally only about a half a second longer.
But the internet noticed it.
But in that half a second, you can tell that assets were digitally removed because fucking Lizard gets just walloped in the face.
But we don't see what's walloping him.
Yeah.
Look,
we know the other Spider-Men are in it.
I know that was supposed to be your big giveaway, but honestly, we found out too early. Mm-hmm. What they should have done is hidden, because we knew that we were getting Electro and Doc Ock.
Yes.
We could have hidden Willem Dafoe more, so only nerds like you and I would have known about it. I didn't realize they were doing Lizard and Sandman. You could have kept those things gone.
Well, and it seems to be last week, I didn't see the image, but it's I think an image leak that seemed to actually confirm Charlie Cox showing up in dark glasses.
I will... Charlie Cox played Daredevil in the Daredevil TV show, and he killed it in that role.
Oh, he's so good.
I understand why they don't necessarily want the Netflix shows to be in canon, because they were a little over the top, and by that I mean they were super fucking over the top, but you could bring back all of those actors. maybe not Iron Fist, but even then, like, I didn't hate him enough to be like, nah, you have to recast him.
He was getting better by the very end of that second season.
Honestly, most of my problems with Danny Rand was not the actor, it was the writing. So if you're gonna fucking fix that, then do it.
And the fight choreography.
Okay, but I don't
Daredevil shouldn't be, like, noticeably better fighter than Iron Fist. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there was anything else in it. No, Lizard gets walloped. I do wonder if because they are willing to show us all this, what they might still be holding back on. Do we get other, not Spider-Men, but Spider-People? Does Nick Cage show up as Spider-Man Noir?
Bring Kirsten Dunst in as fucking what name does she go by? In Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, it's the story of Peter with Mary Jane and their daughter as like co-spider people. It's like a little spider family. And Mary Jane is Spinneret, and it's one of my favorite versions of Mary Jane. So bringing Kirsten Dunst in that way would be perfect. Don't give us Spider-Pig. I can't believe I'm saying that.
But just leave it for...
Just leave it. Let it be Into the Spider-Verse. That would, I think, take it too far.
I mean, I think they've announced that they're going to do a live-action Silk. What if they drop a Silk on us super early?
That would make sense. Silk is another spider person.
Anyway,
I
don't know.
expect Tom Harding's going to show up. Tom Hardy. Venom.
Yeah.
And then the Tobey Maguire will be like, Venom! And they'll be like, don't deal with it. Different.
Then should we go science or should we go the other Marvel?
Let's do Marvel, just in the thematic. So they announced a shit ton of new Marvel shows for Disney Plus. Now, Will, we are going to play a game here because I know you're not a comic guy.
Okay, all right.
You're a big as nerd as me, but in like different formats. I am going to list these shows.
Okay.
You are going to tell me what you think they are.
Okay.
Some of them are pretty easy. Some of them I don't know. You might. Okay. First one, X-Men 97.
Let's see. All right. Yeah. So what am I supposed to be guessing?
Just whatever you think this show is. Do you know what it is?
Okay. I have two thoughts on this. Either this is going to be related to a specific run that was done in 97, or I cannot recall off the top of my head what New 52 means. I've heard you say I've got the number.
Not at all related to Marvel or Spider-Man, so don't worry. That was a specific era of DC publishing.
Cool, good. Okay, yeah,
you're mostly right.
Oh, cool.
The X-Men animated series ran from 1992 to 1997. They are making a continuation of the classic, you got episodes of it from Pizza Hut, X-Men animated series called X-Men 97. It is the greatest comic book theme song ever made.
Oh yeah, I'm a fan of it.
That said,
I had the first two tapes of that.
I only had the first one. I had Night of the Sentinels.
Yeah, I only had the first one too. My best friend growing up had the second one.
A lot. I am the only one I know who's not super excited about this because
this is maybe what I'm most excited. Well, Moon Knight. But
yeah, Batman the Animated Series was far superior. I watched this as an adult, having not the same level of nostalgia, and I was like, wow, the voice actors were not great in this, and the animation didn't hold up that well.
Of which I believe they have back 11 of the original voice actors.
Honestly, 20 years later, they're probably much better at it.
That's true.
One would hope.
Well, and just sometimes the recording quality wasn't great. Like we remember it with really rose-colored glasses, but it had all the failures of like an
mid-90s animation.
Mid-90s animation. Yeah, which is why I'm, I think, a little more critical of it. That said, I didn't give a fuck about He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, and I fucking loved
the
Masters
latest.
Universe Revelations. So cool, bring it on. The Moon Knight.
I know this has nothing to do with the answer, but the first thing that's coming to my mind is Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
How dare you?
Well, there's that entire episode about, congratulations, you are the Moon Master.
Mm-hmm.
And
I mean, you can just have that be your answer if you want.
Oh, yeah. No. The actual answer, I feel like I've heard you talk about a character named Moon Knight at least once before. So
we've mentioned it as one of the best runs of comics in the last like 20 years. So.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Moon Knight is basically Marvel's answer to Batman.
Okay.
Except he wears bright white. And he has multiple dissociative identity. In theory, he has dissociative identity disorder. That's how it was originally created to be. But since it's a really terrible representation of dissociative identity disorder.
Naturally.
Well, yeah, it's never done well in media, let alone in the 70s. First appearing in Werewolf by Night.
Which, like...
is amazing. But,
you think they're going to bring in...
I hope so. I would love to see Jack Russell.
Yeah.
In the 70s, Marvel had a book called Werewolf by Night, and the main star, the titular werewolf's name, was Jack Russell.
Cool.
I don't like puns, and that's the most perfect paragraph ever created.
I mean...
Okay, but he has multiple personalities, and it's considered that it might be because his brain was touched by a god, because he is the avatar of the Egyptian god Khonshu. So he is
I don't recognize
insane,
that one.
bright white Batman, who may or may not be the chosen avatar of a god. In recent years, they've confirmed that Khonshu is real and chosen, but in some of those early appearances, he might have just been making that shit up.
Now, is Khonshu based on an actual one or made just
as far
for
as I
this?
know, Khonshu is a real god, Khonshu. Okay. But, I mean, it's very in Marvel's line to use real Pantheon gods. But
Must
I
not
don't
be important
think he was
enough for one
huge...
to show up in Age of Mythology.
You also have to remember, Egypt has like 150 gods.
I mean, yeah, but the ones in Age of Mythology are the ones I know.
I wanted to play that game so bad when I was a kid.
They do have it.
Khonshu's real.
They have it on Steam.
I don't play the
guess
games I
they
have. Okay, next one. She-Hulk. I'm curious, have you ever heard of this character before?
I mean, I feel like yes, but I could very easily be mixing. Like, I don't know how many different versions of Hulk there is. I know that there is at least one. Oh yes, that is a Lady Hulk, but that's
She-Hulk. Okay, yeah, accurate.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about where my knowledge ends.
Okay, so She-Hulk, this is why I'm interested, because if you know comics, you absolutely know She-Hulk. She's a huge character in Marvel.
Okay.
But if you don't know comics, I think the only place she's ever really appeared is like maybe one episode of a cartoon and I think, unaired pilot of a spin-off of the 70s Incredible Hulk show. It might have been a made-for-TV movie. It might have been an unaired pilot. Either way, it did not go anywhere. She-Hulk is Hulk's cousin, Jennifer Walters. She's a lawyer.
Okay.
That's at its base, that's what it is. It tends to have a much more comedic tale, and she has generally control over her Hulk identity. She mostly just hangs out as the Hulk, because when she's She-Hulk, she's a, 7-foot-tall, super hot green lady who still has, for the most part, all of her control, but is more outgoing. So she's like, why would I... Look at me. Why would I go back to Jen Walters? Which, honestly, yeah, I'm not saying you should do it this way, but you could tell a pretty interesting coming-out story with that. She's traditionally straight, but still.
See, I knew that because I feel like I've seen a post on Tumblr that had a bunch of panels of... God, I can't recall who she would have been with for that, but I feel like...
A couple of people. There's a really terrible story where she hooked up with Juggernaut and they had to spend years being like, that was a fake She-Hulk, that didn't actually happen, stop talking about it. Well, she was his lawyer at the time. It was like the giant violation of lawyerly ethics. Okay, Miss Marvel.
I recognize the name.
You're on Tumblr, that doesn't surprise me at all.
I think recognizing the name's all I've especially got on this one.
Okay. Miss Marvel was the original name of Carol Danvers, the current Captain Marvel.
Okay.
When she became Captain Marvel, they introduced a new character whose real name is Kamala Khan, and she is a Muslim Pakistani woman, the child of immigrants. She's what, first generation? Yeah. Who becomes the superhero Miss Marvel because she's a giant superhero fangirl.
Okay.
And she has often been described as kind of this century's Peter Parker because she comes from a very slice of life, but she is also Muslim. I don't want to say first and foremost, but it is one of the dominant factors of who she is, but it's done very respectfully and honestly, not just shittily, which is how it's usually done. She also fucking infuriates neckbeards.
That
because she is a
surprised me.
prominent Pakistani Muslim woman who is quickly becoming one of the like premier superheroes in Marvel staple.
Okay.
She's so good.
I mean, I'm liking what I'm hearing.
Her superpower that they'll be doing slightly different in this is that she can do what she's dubbed embiggening, where she can like make her fist grow giant. Or if she needs to chase something down, she can like grow her legs so they're like 20 feet tall.
Okay.
It is body horror to the extreme, but in a way that's done really cute.
Okay.
Does that sound accurate to you?
That's true. Yep.
It sounds like they're changing it for the show to make it more like a Green Lantern thing.
This makes a lot of sense.
It's a bummer, but I agree with it.
Also, just so that you haven't introduced Reed Richards yet. You don't want to introduce Reed Richards looking like...
The shittier version of Miss Marvel.
Yes.
Because he's got less exciting versions of her powers. He's stretchy. Okay. What If Season 2? I assume that's not a huge one for you, but... Did this is where they officially announced Season 2, or did we already know this? A few of these we already knew.
I think we might have already
If not officially known, we knew.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm not positive on that one.
The what ifs are, I mean, it's kind of, it's effectively a bunch of shorts. Yeah.
It's a what if story. What if Spider-Man was Thor? What if, I think that's a real one, but I'm not sure.
Not in the series. I mean,
yeah, what if Doctor Strange was the source, or what if Tony Stark was the Sorcerer Supreme is one of my favorite what if stories of all time. It's amazing.
I feel like I know most about what if from seeing ads on Twitter in passing.
Honestly, if you've seen the ad, you understand everything you need to know for what if.
Yeah, no, it's,
Big bald guy watches tell stories.
I think the only what if, I do have a what if somewhere. I think I have the, what if the Punisher had been successful in killing Peter Parker the first time they encountered each other?
Oh, I haven't read that one. There's a new series coming out of What If that seems to be What If Miles Morales, and each issue seems to be like, what if Miles Morales was the next Wolverine? What if Miles Morales was the next Cap?
Okay.
I think it's an interesting idea.
That's kind of fun.
I mean, it's only you're gonna get 10 issues out of that max, but like, it's kind of a fun little making sure we have something published called What If right now, and let's use our most popular new character.
Makes good business sense.
Miles is fucking...
And yeah, it's a fun time.
Okay, this one, there's no way you know this one. Echo.
Yeah, nope,
not the dolphin.
Echo joins the Avengers. Which she did in a very different way. Echo is the name of Maya Lopez, who is I want to say Native American, but I think Southern Native American, deaf woman who becomes a superhero.
Okay.
It's pretty cool.
I mean...
She's originally... Unfortunately, thanks to sexism, more often than not, Echo has been used as a romantic interest for another character.
Ew.
But she's still managed to be a pretty capable character in her own right. Okay. She first appeared as a romantic interest to Daredevil because that man just desperately wants to sleep with everyone he should not sleep with. She's trying to kill him at the same time. I should say that. It's
fun.
not just like... She later hooks up with Hawkeye because he does the same thing. And then she sleeps with Moon Knight, who... That's the worst idea of the three of them. Although the pairing was kind of fun. Hopefully she will be treated better here. She will probably not be sleeping with Hawkeye in this one because the MCU Hawkeye is married. But I am excited for a deaf hero getting more representation. I heard Eternals had one, but still. And hopefully they actually do treat her as Native American. Because we don't get many of those.
I'm just doing a really quick search. I don't know if they've ever confirmed a tribe for her in the comics.
Okay.
Which, if they do make her noticeably Native, they need to confirm a tribe.
Yes. I should say that came out in like 2000. She's the host of the Phoenix Force right now, which is a wild upgrade for Echo. Spider-Man freshman year. I feel like this is pretty straightforward.
I mean, whichever Spider-Man this is goes to college, have fun.
Probably high school, but it is Spider-Man freshman year. I heard it's an animated show. I heard one rumor that it was the MCU Peter from before Civil War, but I don't know if that's going to be true because he didn't get his costume until... MCU's Peter doesn't work very well, if we're being honest.
I'm wondering if post whatever crazy multiverse shenanigans happen in both No Way Home and Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, if this is Marvel's way of creating their own Spider-Man that they can use post-Sony.
There's weird ownership rights when it comes to Spider-Man.
Naturally.
Yeah, that could be interesting. All we really know is Spider-Man, and he's a freshman.
Okay.
And it seems to be the animation
Looks kind of 60s.
Yeah, the style looks all like the older comics.
Okay.
Give it a bit of a Steve Dick. That could be really cool, but we just don't know enough to really have an opinion yet. I am Groot.
Seems pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. And it does show Baby Groot, so we just seem to be getting a cartoon of Baby Groot because we all shat ourselves when we watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
I kind of don't care unless he's the monarch of Planet X.
Yeah. Groot is supposed to be a big tree king of Planet X. Ironheart.
I feel like I recognize that name. Thanks
You
to
were also
all
on
of your other...
Tumblr.
Well, I mean, it'd probably be more because of all your other podcasts.
Hey!
Go listen to those people. Past feeling like I recognize the name, I've got nothing.
Ironheart is a young woman named Riri Williams. Riri's great. A young black woman, that should also be said. So she also pissed off a whole lot of neckbeards who replicated an Iron Man armor in her garage.
Holy shit. Okay. I'm all for this.
That's really, there's more, but that's the basics of it.
Okay.
The original version had a AI based off Tony Stark in the same way that he had, like, Jarvis.
Oh, okay.
But I doubt we're getting that because this is taking place in the MCU and they don't want to pay Robert Downey Jr. However many millions of dollars.
For just a voice, they probably wouldn't have to pay him as much.
I just don't see it happening because then people will be like, when are you going to come back for real? Fucking never, man.
Well, I mean, that's always been the popular way to bring him back without having to bring him back anyways, just turning him into the new Jarvis.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I wouldn't be unhappy. I don't see it happening. Agatha, House of Harkness. That's a good name.
It's a good name.
No, that's a solid name. This is another one where I feel like nope. Something Scarlet Witch.
Yay!
Okay, cool. I retained something from one of your episodes.
Something Scarlet
Witch was the one that you messaged me about, being like, "Holy shit."
Holy shit.
Agatha in the comics is one of the trainers of Scarlet Witch. In the TV show, she's like the big villain. Spoiler of a show that came out a year ago. WandaVision.
Did you watch it yet?
No, I'm watching it next week.
Okay.
But she is
She's a villain.
Villain.
She's a villain.
So is Wanda. Come on, man. That's not a giveaway. Yeah. That's every story Wanda has ever been in. But she was far and away the most popular part of it, so we are getting a House of Harkness.
Yo, Catherine Hahn as Agatha Harkness
she kills it, yeah.
Fucking amazing.
I will say, having Harkness be the family name does drive me up a wall since I don't have the comic knowledge base, because that always makes me think of Jack Harkness from Doctor Who. So there's
that's very weird. Happy since 2005.
That's funny.
Yeah, so people keep being like, oh, is it going to be like House of M, House of Harkness? No. Agatha's got a huge, wild fucking backstory with a family that includes 7 insane, magically mutated monsters that form a super team together. We don't need more than that. Okay, there's 2 more. We're going to go through them pretty quick because this is taking forever and I apologize. Marvel Zombies.
Like that one.
I believe in you. You can figure what out this one is supposed to be.
I mean, for me, the bigger question is, okay, wait, who is becoming the zombies in this case?
All of them.
Oh.
The story of Marvel Zombies, originally written by Robert Kirkman, who also did The Walking Dead and Invincible, is the story of a zombie plague being unleashed on the Marvel Universe and the slow destruction of the Marvel U over the course of the zombie plague. It includes the zombies taking down Galactus and eating him.
Oh.
I don't like it at all. I fucking hate Marvel Zombies. The only one I've ever read that I enjoyed, and I've read most of them, is Marvel Zombies versus Army of Darkness, and that's just because anything with Ash I'm in for. That said, it's extremely popular, or was 10 years ago. So I don't blame them for giving it a shot. It's going to be up somebody's alley.
I remember when Marvel Zombies got big, and I was just kind of like, meh, it's more zombie properties, and I never actually read it. I've like flipped through it, like I remember seeing it in Hastings and like, oh cool, and just sort of like flipping through it real quick. The only real crossover I have is when during the latest Secret Wars, the Old Man Logan standalone that was happening during that, he's one of the only heroes that's actually crossing into the different parts of Battle World.
Oh, okay.
And he ends up in the Marvel Zombies part.
That makes sense. See, I thought you were going to say Headpool.
Oh, no.
Who is the Deadpool from Marvel Zombie, who only his head remains, and he's got one of those little, like, whirly helicopter hats, except it actually flies him around. And he is the best part of a really terrible miniseries called the Deadpool Corps, which is different Deadpools across the multiverse teaming up. It sucked.
If I remember it, yeah, I think Old Man Logan ends up fighting side by side with She-Hulk for a while.
Cool.
In that portion of Battle World. I don't remember for sure. It was fun, but whatever.
All right, last one. Secret Invasion.
I've heard you guys reference
it. Is a secret, and it is an invasion. In Captain Marvel, we are introduced to the Skrulls.
Okay.
The green shape-shifting aliens.
Okay.
At least in the comics, the Skrulls are capable of forming what is known as a Super Skrull, which the original Super Skrull is a Skrull with the powers of all of the Fantastic Four. It is later upgraded that it's just, you can make Skrulls, Super Skrulls that are like hodgepodges of different villains.
Okay.
Or not villains, but different superpowered characters.
Okay.
So there was one that was like Ghost Rider, Wolverine, and Colossus, which is insanely overpowered, by the by. You can have like Doctor Strange and Iron Man and Hulk, which would just be dumb. But still, Secret Invasion, parts of me really like it and parts of me really can't stand it. Because some of this stuff was really cool. Lionel Francis Yu was doing some of the best art of his career. But the Super Skrull concept was just over the top, and it became Marvel the Thing.
Yeah.
Of like, who can you trust is literally the tagline. Exciting part of this is Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury headlining a TV show where he goes and fights an undercover secret invasion.
And he's grown an awesome beard.
Yes.
That's
like my beard,
almost the only thing we've seen from it, too.
Literally, the intro they give us for this is like 10 seconds, and it's Samuel L. Jackson with a beard and no eye patch, slightly turning his head. And I have seen so many fucking Screen Rant articles of like, what can we learn from this? I'm like, fucking nothing.
It's 2 seconds of Samuel Jackson turning his head. Nothing. Sweet beard, man.
All right. I'm excited, but like I already was. Okay, I guess last bit of news. Sorry, that took so long, but I wanted to know what you thought.
On the science side of things, for a long time, there has been a slight mystery about the Atacama Desert in Chile. There's a 75-kilometer strip that has these odd green, black, twisted bits of glass just strewn across the landscape.
And you're like, hey, what the fuck, landscape?
So analysis of the glass has now turned out that there is bits of space dust in it that couldn't occur as deep in the glass as it occurs without the glass having been formed from a comet exploding overhead.
Is it a comet or is it like a meteor?
It's a comet.
Like, that's super cool.
Comets usually don't end up getting that close because they heat up too quickly and blow up in the high atmosphere because they're composed mostly of ice. So this was a big-ass comet that got close enough to the Earth before it exploded that it exploded to temperatures between 2,000 and 6,000 Celsius and scorched the Earth below it for 75 kilometers.
So fucking cool!
That's fun.
I knew you told me about bits of this, but you didn't read the whole thing. No, fuck, that's metal. Oh my god.
So All signs don't point to it being big enough or having gotten close enough to actually have an impact. There are actually only 190 known impact craters on Earth.
Yeah, a lot of shit burns up in our atmosphere. And even then, the chances of something hitting us, while there's news articles about it every other day, is kind of astronomically small.
Yeah, I mean,
but still,
Jupiter keeps us pretty dang safe in this solar system.
Oh, Jupiter, thank you so much.
It's still hard to tell for certain, but it's arguable with what we do know about it that the blast might have been comparable or higher than the Tunguska blast.
Oh, fuck.
Ooh.
But it's out in the middle of a desert, so it's not like it knocked down like a shit ton of trees and shit. Like,
No, it just made glass. Cool.
yeah,
Do we know when this would have happened?
about 12,000 years ago.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
And that's what we got for science.
Fuck yeah. All right. From space to space. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we'll talk about Dune.
How do we want to start this bit? We're going to talk about Dune 2021, but...
Yeah, we were originally going to do Dune 1984 first, and then this, but honestly, thanks to the time issues we were talking about having, it left HBO Max the day we recorded this, so we just did not have time.
Yeah.
So, Dune 2021. Tyler, I'm going to ask you first. What is your relationship to Dune? We'll talk about yours in a sec, but that's a whole story.
My relationship to Dune was on my to-read list for a decade and a half, and them announcing that they were going to finally make this version of it meant that I had to finally get off my ass and read it, of which I have read it 2.5 times in the past year alone. I have watched the Lynch version probably 5 times in the last year alone.
Had you seen it before?
I have watched the Lynch version before.
Okay.
In college, like once, and I believe, pretty drunk at the time, but...
We will not get much into the Lynch version today because we're doing it next time. But as Will can attest, as my Dune buddy, it comes up a lot with me.
Yeah. And I mean, within arm's reach, I have like a very nice version of the Dune, of the Lynch one right now. So that I've managed to pick up this year. The Arrow released a 4K cut. So I got my hands on that because I love it. I like finally getting around to reading Dune. I absolutely fell in love with it. And it has been a topic of constant conversation between me and some of my coworkers lately. So
let's see. I'll go first if you're cool with it.
Yeah.
And we'll talk because yours is the most recent Dune experience.
Yeah.
I first watched the David Lynch Dune when I was probably about 13 over at my friend at my brother-in-law's house. It was not a transformative experience like fucking Batman Forever was for me, but it was a movie that I was like, this is fucking awesome. It's cheesy, but it's awesome. And when people were like, no, it's bad, I was like, what do you mean? And I tried to read Dune several times over the years and just never fucking got through it.
I will add, I did try reading it for the first time as, I believe, like an 8 or 9-year-old.
See, I think I was like 14 and I still wasn't quite ready for it. I got it's a weird book. It's easy to get distracted on.
Yeah, I got about 9 books into Xanth, and I was asking Dad for other recommendations.
And so he's like, here's Dune, son.
Yeah, and I got like a chapter into it, and I'm like, I'm good on this right now.
Good on that, dog. But when I was in the Montana Conservation Corps for 2 seasons, I read all 5 Dune books, which one means my copy of Dune eternally has sand in it because I was in a place that had a forest fire the year before, so like there's fucking sand and soot everywhere. Mm-hmm. So I open up Dune and sand falls out and it just brings me to a happy place. But also because I was reading these books 10 miles from the nearest road, 50 miles from the nearest town, with only 6 other people around me for up to 3 weeks at a time, I still feel like I probably owe those people an apology. Because I read Grant Morrison's Doom Patrol and Dune.
Ooh.
I was a fucking weirdo for a while there.
Oof.
And I read 4 of the 5 books on those. And then finished the last one shortly afterwards.
Okay. Was it 5 or 6 that Frank did?
6, I think you're right. Because hold on, I can do this. Dune Messiah, Children of Dune, which is not very good but very important. God Emperor of Dune, which is one of the most amazing but insane things I've ever read. Sisterhood of Dune, and then Chapter House Dune, I think. But I could have those 2 backwards.
Nope, Chapter House is last.
Okay.
Yep.
And then there are 2 more written by his son based off of notes that he said he found of his father's. And then there's about 30 more that him and Kevin J. Anderson have written together, because why the fuck not?
We can ignore those.
I actually kind of want to read some of them.
I've heard some...
There's supposed to be fun sci-fi, but not great Dune.
Yeah, I was about to say, I've heard that Brian doesn't understand the themes as well.
Okay, to be fair, neither did Frank by fucking Chapter House. You know how I know? Because I've read it. And it was fun, but it wasn't great Dune. You should have ended with God Emperor, because you can't get weirder than that. William.
Let's see.
So the answer is me, but...
Well, I mean, the earliest bit of my relationship with Dune comes down to having seen an advertisement for the Dune game in front of Red Alert 2. And...
I fucking forgot about that. I saw that too.
Michael Dorn, a.k.a. Worf, is in one of those games, like in cutscenes and stuff.
God, those cutscenes. Oh my god. So, I mean, I've probably watched that particular ad a couple times because I wanted to, like, hey, okay, what the heck is this? But, was playing the game at a point where, cool, copies of this don't exist anymore. So I never got to play it, but I was fascinated but never able to follow through. And then skip forward a good handful of years. And until sometime last year, and it's Zach's fault.
It was after the first trailer for this movie came out. And you and I were going to do a Dune podcast together called Pod Emperors of Dune.
Yeah,
the idea was
You're welcome for the name.
It's so good. And the idea was it was going to be a chapter by chapter thing. So it's about 10 pages at a time. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, partially thanks to COVID, it just never really came together right. We recorded, I think, about 8 episodes.
Yeah.
Less than 10.
Yeah. Chapter 9's the last one I had.
He had just gotten to Dune, but there was already a Pod Emperor of Dune, and we just didn't notice until we were 10 episodes in, 9 episodes in. We're like, fuck. Oh god, editing all of those is going to be a nightmare. We had none of them edited. It was just proving really stressful because it turns out I'm not smart enough to analyze Dune chapter by chapter.
It's a little tough. There's a good amount of stuff in
It was
there.
really fun. Every time I think about it, I wish that we could do it, and I would still love to go back to this someday. But the amount of work it was going to take to get these into usable episodes was just proving not worth it.
Just a little too much drag and friction to take off with it.
The 2 things that really did stick out, at least for me, was, 3 things, but we'll have you tell one of them, is 1, we dubbed still suits, the things they wear in the desert, the sweat soup suits, and we wanted to make onesies of those to sell, which is just lovely. And 2, our unending hatred of Dr. Yue.
Oh, Dr. Yue.
He is the biggest, not much in this movie, but he is the biggest bitch.
This is maybe a good time to throw in a little interjection and warning. We do not have the time to explain everything that happens in the book, but we are...
Or even this movie!
Exactly. Yeah. So we are going to talk about it as though you, the audience, has an understanding of what happens in the book. Maybe we'll explain some things here and there, but I'm not going to, when I compare something to the book, I'm not going to take the time to completely explain it through either.
Yeah, I think I will be more discussing this as an adaptation as opposed to talking you through the movie like we do in some episodes. Yue in the book is the biggest whiny bitch. And he keeps talking about his Wana, which is the terrible name of his dead wife.
My roommate and I are still...
Wow, marijuana!
That it comes up at least once a week.
He's awful. But I think my favorite thing is I had you watch the first trailer, having not even read any of Dune. And I asked you to describe it.
Emo kid goes to the beach and has a bad time.
Okay.
None of that is inaccurate. I guess beach implies ocean, but otherwise.
Okay.
He used to be at an ocean. Emo kid leaves the beach and has a bad time.
Why surfers should never leave California.
At work, our shorthand version of it has been rich kid moves to a place that bums him out, does drugs, and becomes space Jesus.
Accurate as well. Yeah, you have to mention the space drugs. I mean, honestly, the best description that ever existed is basically what Frank Herbert actually did was assigned a job about writing a news article about reclaiming sand dunes in Oregon, never bothered to write the article, and instead wrote a 700-page science fiction epic that made people think he was trying to start the next version of Scientology. I will say Dune makes no sense. It does make more sense than Scientology.
Yes. Yeah. We're going to talk about the latest Denis Villeneuve 2021 Dune, 1921 Dune. Jesus Christ. Thought we'd stretch this out a little bit.
Days before it was a talkie.
This is a show about things we like. There's certainly a number of things to blow about this movie. I did structure out some questions, though, with the first one being, is there anything you actually just didn't like?
Lady Jessica was done fucking dirty in this movie.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's weird. I've heard from a number of people that she was the standout for them.
Lady Jessica's a fucking queen, and she is one of the best parts of the book. Like, full stop.
Yeah,
I love... She cries in almost every scene in this movie.
Yeah.
In times that she did not need to be crying.
Yeah, she had it was a weird energy that they...
I get it. She's having a bad day.
Well, and every time I watched it, I tried to pay a lot of attention to, especially for the House Atreides characters, to the body language, because we get, thanks to Paul and Jessica, a lot of observation about subtleties of body language in the books. And the way, like, I don't know, she carries herself in such a weird way in multiple scenes, like, I don't know, she's almost got like a hunched over kind of thing.
She's much more submissive.
Yeah, and I could see the book character doing that to play a part. I don't feel it's accurate to the
core?
The core of the character, yeah.
I think I can explain the one spot I think that it really stuck at me. And then please defend if you want to defend, because I definitely see why she would appeal to people at the same time. It just didn't fit my very specific. But the scene, and this is the scene, they skipped a lot of the great lines in this movie. But the one scene that I felt that they really fumbled was where she picks the shot up Mapes, the housekeeper.
Yeah.
Who is super unimportant in this version, but okay. She's a character you can kind of afford to miss. But the scene where she picks the shot up Mapes was not done correctly. There is so much... It is one of my favorite scenes in the book. Which is weird, because it's a very small little thing. But there is so much interaction happening between the two of them, setting up world building in a way I've never seen. And having them not be alone changes a lot of that, because it changes what they can say. It also changes what risks Jessica was taking in that scene, having a guard there. In the movie, she's never in any real danger. In the book, she almost gets stabbed to death like 3 times, entirely depending on how she phrases a sentence.
Though, I would argue, I don't feel she, like, I guess, while the danger exists in the book, I mean, even in
the danger doesn't exist in the book, because Jessica can take her any second.
I was going to say, she's absolutely a proficient
But
fighter.
it absolutely sets the scale of who Jessica is in a way that it does not in the movie.
Yeah, and
in
I
my
think,
opinion.
Now, I'm going to agree with you up to a point. I actually re-listened to this exact chapter this morning.
Okay.
I think so. To me, with her portrayal in this movie, I think Will was on to something when you said you can see the book character playing this part. And I think it's the weird difference that we have that you actually get when you read like the Dresden Files.
Mm-hmm.
We get all of Dresden's inner thoughts, and so we have an idea of how he carries himself. But if you think about what he's actually being physically described as doing in those scenes, it's usually just hunched over in a corner, kind of mumbling to himself.
Which is why everyone thinks he's fucking insane. Okay. I can see what you are saying there.
yeah, okay, yeah, no, I think that...
I will have one last critique of that scene. They pull a fucking they pull a fucking Chris knife from its sheath, and they put it back without blooding it.
It's never established as a thing in the movie universe.
I don't care. How fucking dare you? The Chris knife, made from the knife of a sandworm. One of the things, it's literally in this book, because this book is just pure playing at 11.
I also don't think the book is consistent with it.
Oh, I don't care.
I'm pretty sure there's a number of scenes about 2/3 of the way into the book where Fremen are pulling their Chris knives just in celebration of things.
No, you're 100% correct. And I'm just imagining them, like, poking themselves. But the idea is, if you do not put blood on a Chris knife, it's not just, like, a dishonor. Like, if you pull your knife, you better be ready for fucking business. The knife might literally fall apart.
Is that established in later...
It is
books?
barely mentioned, but they do have a thing of, like...
Okay, because...
It might be in one of the Apocrypha things, too.
Okay,
like,
because
Dune's got so many Apocrypha things.
Well, yeah, and I definitely did, like, because we were trying to record that podcast, I actually have yet to go back and read through
Also,
all
I'll be
the glossary
honest,
stuff
it's
with
been a
the
while
back.
since I read it. I could have just been very high.
Yeah, because
Like, now that both of you are giving me confused looks, I am very uncertain about this.
Well,
But the point is, you don't pull a Chris knife.
Yeah.
I realize that Dune's super over the top and that I fall for it 100%, but goddamn I do.
Well,
I got critiques.
Now, I
Well,
missed
I mean-
that being established as a thing, but because it's never established, it didn't bug me, if that makes sense.
Fair enough.
yeah, I think, like, I feel that for adapting a book to film, I feel it's absolutely an acceptable loss. Maybe as I read more books and see more background stuff, that opinion might change. Because I kind of want to see the stuff that's leading
Chris
to...
knives do get significantly less important as it goes along. Like, I should admit that.
Okay.
But I just fucking love the Fremen so much. I love them so much, guys.
Will, was there anything you specifically didn't like? Because we sort of stood on Jessica for a bit, and we
Yeah.
all talked about her a bit.
I'm
but
sorry. I'm trying not
it's
to
okay.
overwhelm the podcast, and I absolutely am.
I don't know. Like, I've actually been thinking about that, and I've been noticing about how I am as a fan is I tend to be forgiving of things for, to appreciate the adaptation for what it is. But I do, like, I understand to make a book into a movie, you have to do a lot of changes for dialogue and who says what. And understanding that, I do feel that it is nonetheless a loss in this adaptation, because there's, I mean, a thing that I come back to a lot when thinking about Dune is how much subtlety there is in how a lot of the characters speak and act in the book. And
Words tend to be very specifically chosen.
yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that it goes to, like, the lengths that Tolkien does, because that man was insane when it comes to these kinds of things. But, and, also fucking studied words and that stuff for a living. But it still feels like a lot of the stuff, is very carefully done. And I do notice that the depth of some characters, like, I did miss the depth of some characters. I felt that, like, the changes that they, of course, had to make for Dr. Yue, I feel are in many ways a disservice to the story as a whole. Because I kind of feel like in the book, like, the conflict that he has inside is both makes me like him more because he's more believable, it also makes me hate him that much more because of how much of it kind of gives you the hatred that he has for himself, so that you can have that on top of whatever hatred you might already have for the guy.
I did think it was interesting in the book. They tell you on page like 10 that
he's
UA
the
is the traitor and he will kill them all.
Yeah.
And they hit it until the last possible second in this one.
Yeah, and so I do feel that I would have I feel like it's, I guess more than anything, it's a missed opportunity. Maybe it just wouldn't be an option for budgetary reasons, but I would like to think that they could have found a way to keep that in there, all the little bits and pieces that go with Dr. Yue, to make us as the audience feel that there's a lot of emotion that we as the audience, even knowing exactly what's going to happen, can still get out of that.
I know losing the mentats bothered you a little bit too, but...
Yeah.
Well, they never explain them.
Yeah,
They're
no,
there.
And Peter never gets a fucking name even, and Peter's fucking creepy.
Yeah. When I went to go see this in the theater the first time, I went with my mom. She has not read the books at all. Going to that movie was her first experience with Dune. And I was pleasantly surprised to hear that she didn't need to have any of that background, background to be able to enjoy the movie. But I did think that, okay, if you don't know what a mentat is, because they don't even say the title once in the movie, then I don't know, the idea of here's a dude that snorts cocaine and then is a supercomputer, and that's just how they are. That's a fascinating idea.
They did a good job of portraying how they're a supercomputer, even in the very minimal stuff. But we never got that.
Something would have been nice.
Yes. Also, they leave it out, and this does kind of bother me because it was an interesting part of how Paul is being built up to be a superhuman by everyone. Paul is supposed to be at least a partial mentat. He's supposed to have mentat training. And they never fucking bother. And I'm like, that's so cool, though.
I'll agree. My didn't like is that they didn't explain the mentats. Is a big one.
I get why they were like, we don't have fucking time for this. We're covering a third of the book, and it's already a 2.5-hour movie. But I don't know. It weakened the universe a little bit.
Yeah, I think probably the biggest critique I have of the film is that, you can lose those small details, but I suppose kind of like with adapting Lord of the Rings to the screen, by sacrificing those little details, it does make all of it smaller.
I have one other didn't like though. And it's weird, though, because it's conflicted, because
about everything we've said so far.
But, one of my favorite changes in the Villeneuve versus the Lynch is dropping the internal dialogue and letting the actors act. One of my biggest didn't likes for this versus the book is dropping the internal dialogue.
The internal dialogue is 100% why I didn't think you could adapt Dune properly to a film or TV medium.
See, and that was a lot of why I was watching Body Language, because if you're not going to have the internal dialogue, then okay, every single one of those actors that has internal dialogue needs to bring their A game for body language, because you can do so much with that. I mean, the way they kind of kept doing the little hand signals and made that
that was so dumb.
That was really cool. That wasn't in the book, was it?
Hand signals are way in the book.
Okay. Yeah, they do. I don't think it's very verbosely described in the book, but it is referenced multiple times.
No, you're right. They do.
Yeah, I think they call they even have a
something
a
cant,
type.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's a battle cant.
Oh yeah, it was just battle language, I think.
That sounds about right.
I will say, because it kind of comes close, the way they do the visions in this one are extremely well done.
They're super cool.
That scene where Paul is just tripping nuts in the tent is one of the best scenes in the movie, and that is not even my favorite scene of the book.
I was waiting for that scene because I knew that scene was either going to be, I hate this and this movie no longer works, or, okay, Yes.
You gotta kind of make or break it a little bit.
I think the thing I miss most from the internal dialogues is that those are the parts of the book that I feel are most condemning of saviors.
That's true.
Because
we don't really get to
without that, it is a white savior story.
Yeah.
Whereas the books are, yes, it's a savior story, but it's telling you why saviors are a really fucking bad thing.
Yeah, Villeneuve talks about how he's trying to do a condemnation, but I also understand the people who are like, didn't really work.
No. But, like, by the way, like, the Atreides aren't good guys. They're sympathetic, but they're villains.
As much as everyone else is. There's not really heroes in this one.
The Bene Gesserit are fucking horrendous.
Oh, no, the Bene Gesserit are terrible.
Ultimate colonists.
We had a lot to say about them when we were
I do think
podcast.
it's so fucking fascinating, the idea that they'll travel and, like, they'll set up legends on a planet because someday, thousands of years in the future, one Bene Gesserit might need help getting to a spaceport faster or something like that. Like, so she can use those and manipulate it. It's so fascinating. But yeah, it's so horrifying. I super fall for and I admit this, I have to remind myself that, for the, like, Atreides as a noble family. And I do have sympathy for them, and you're supposed to. You know,
I say they're definitely sympathetic.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel of the kind of people that the system that they live in produces, they're probably about the best result you can get.
Yeah, Duke Leto didn't want to fucking fight this fight, but he gets put in it whether he likes it or not. Duncan Idaho is described in one of the later books as, like, the only true good person in the universe, and even he's kind of a dick. Homophobic too, but I blamed that more on the era that the book was written than I actually blame Duncan Idaho. We can just ignore that scene from God Emperor. And there is a thing that I find super interesting about the idea that Paul is desperately trying to, one, step off the path so he doesn't lead a galactic jihad, and two, be like, all right, if I have to do this, how do I save the most amount of people possible?
Yeah.
How do I save the species? How do I do that with the minimal bloodshed?
Yeah, and
the terrible choices he's forced to make because of that. But also, that does not negate the fact that he does some fucked up shit.
Yeah, I did like that in the visions in the tent scene, that they managed to capture that he's not a fan of this idea of like, and I'm glad that they established that, because I felt for the second half of the book that was a very important internal conflict for the character, and the fact that they've I'm really hoping that they'll make good use of having laid that groundwork out now in this film for the next one, because I would really like to see them do something fun with that internal conflict and find some really good ways to show that to us.
Can I mention something before we dive into your next question? Just think of this. I do think it's interesting that they heavily changed the Duke Leto, in one specific point. Also, Oscar Isaac knocks it out of the goddamn... Not surprising, it's Oscar Isaac, but he knocks it out of the goddamn park, and he looks very good in a gray beard.
1,000,000%.
That man is a sexy man. But the point of this being, I think it's interesting that they kind of changed him, that in this version, he's not really kind of raising Paul to be a superhuman. Because in the books, he is in his own way.
Yeah.
He's not trying to make the fucking Kwisatz Haderach, but he is, you know...
He's trying to produce a good Duke.
He's trying to produce the best Duke.
Yeah.
He's trying to make a Duke who has all of his political acumen. Bene Gesserit training, Mentat training from the two greatest warriors probably in Dune.
Described as living legends in their own time.
Duncan Idaho and fucking Gurney. Gurney Halleck, and then Thufir Hawat, the greatest Mentat in the space. Like, it's over the top how OP he's making Paul. And then, oh, by the way, turns out I'm also the fucking space messiah. But his line of, like, even if you walk away from all this, you'll still be everything I need you to be, my son, is 1,000% the opposite of that.
Oh, it's so well delivered, though.
Oh, no, it's the choice.
Yeah.
It's just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
distractingly different. Like
I-
I definitely went, oh boy.
Yeah, I did. Like, I don't think I've really spent a lot of time processing that particular scene because I feel like in the in the overall movie delivery, it's pretty small.
Cece
But
was
I
like,
found
why
it-
are you like over? I mean, it was a well done scene, but like it's just whatever, kind of a hokey line. But nope, it is a significant change.
Yeah, and I feel like I'm gonna have to watch the movie a third time to really be able to like, okay, no,
I ain't
I'm going
stopping
to
at
sit
3.
and
I'm gonna
look
watch
at-
this movie a
Oh, of
frustrating
course.
amount of times.
All right. There anything that, not that you didn't like, but just sort of one step up, like you just sort of missed it? Like, I wish that this from the book would have been in here, but it doesn't piss me off that it's not. Just, I kind of wish it would have been.
Kind of the Mentat thing.
Like, I think, for me, like, I'd like Roland's portrayal of Gurney Halleck, but we need a Bard.
Yeah, we never got
I
the
did.
Bard side.
I did miss that.
It doesn't, like, I miss it. It doesn't matter that, like, because I like his portrayal still. It still fits, I feel like, but
I am glad that they at least had a throwaway line to that in the training room.
His bassinet's already on the way, or something like
well,
that.
well, like the thing that sets the training fight off is like, hey, I don't want to fight. Sing me a song instead. You know, so like,
You're right. That's true.
yeah, I did miss that. I think
It's why Gurney's one of my favorite characters.
yeah, Gurney's a fascinating character because he's I feel like a lot of the other characters are kind of, I have my lane. I am super specialized in this lane. And then we've got Gurney Halleck, who's okay, I can sword good and I can sing good. Also, here's
probably
Bible
strategy good.
here's Bible quotes, and I have infinite of those, except one time, and it gets mentioned.
I also missed, with the reduced importance of mentats, it makes sense. But one of my favorite scenes in the book is actually... Oh, also, there's no fade in this first part, so this scene doubly couldn't happen. But I miss the scene where the Baron is having almost an argument with Piter in front of Fade in order to show Fade both the capabilities and the
Weaknesses?
limitations of mentats.
Well, and just you're getting the whole plan laid out, and you're just like watching as you go along, because you get the whole plan, but you don't get the details of the plan. It was, I think, one of Frank's more interesting, Mr. Herbert's whatever, literary choices, and it kind of ties in with mine. So I'm just we can talk about it. I felt the Harkonnens were undersold as a total. We barely get any time with the Baron, who, while slightly problematic to have your only gay character be a pederast, is also a fat flying pedophile, which is the most horrifyingly, wonderfully over-the-top villain.
Fucking Skarsgård kills it, though.
And he does great, but we
He's
don't...
just barely in it.
Yes, we don't get that, like, oh shit, okay, the Atreides might be villains in their own way, but the Baron Harkonnen is straight up evil. There's no subtlety to him either, and that's kind of what I love about him. Like,
Yeah, we didn't really get that, did we?
the closest we get is a scene where he's like, how sad that I have to kill the Atreides. And you're like, you could just not do this. You have instigated every single part of this. Like, it kills the importance, too, that Paul is a Harkonnen as well as an Atreides. In the book, huge giveaway, Jessica is the Baron's daughter, and even she doesn't know.
Do you think that's still going to get revealed in part 2?
I'm very questioning about that because I feel like they've kind of shifted a little. I feel like they've shifted some of the emphasis away from
the Harkonnens?
Well, not just from the Harkonnens, but from the role of genetics.
I don't blame them for being a little uncomfortable with eugenics in 2021,
Yeah,
but you're right.
Yeah, and like as I recall, doesn't Paul during the tent scene
That's
first
where he
make that
reveals
connection?
it, yeah.
And they did not do that.
No.
And by virtue of not doing that, I feel like, I guess, especially in light of what I said earlier about that scene, I hope laid a lot of groundwork. Since that groundwork is not in that scene, I would have to speculate that they've elected to not make that as big a deal.
See, if there wasn't one other scene that we haven't got yet, I do think it's super easy to adapt that scene into happening when he drinks from the water of life.
If they're going to do it, they'll do it there. I just don't know. It almost seems like they're more setting him up against the Emperor than they are the Harkonnens. Well, in the book, for large parts of it, it's him versus the Harkonnens, and the Emperor is almost an afterthought to him. Like, well, the only way I'll beat the Harkonnens is by beating the Emperor, so might as well beat the Emperor too. I will say, in that same vein, who's the actor that they chose to play Peter?
Oh, David Dastmalchian, Polka Dot Man.
I just can never remember his name because it's about 18 syllables long. He is such the perfect choice to play Peter, and we got none of the scenes that revealed why he was the perfect creepy choice to play Peter.
He very much gave me, at least for the bits of him that we did get, I very much got that Snake vibe from him. I mean, again, I pay a lot of attention to body language, especially for this movie. I paid a lot of attention to body language, and I don't know, I feel like even down to the way he carries himself, he's a venomous snake. That
scene that I miss between the Baron and Piter and Fade is the one where like he like the Baron finally pisses him off at the end, and he gets really creepy about like my payment is Jessica and shit, and like I think David Dastmalchian could have knocked that out of the
he would have killed it. The reason I think Peter is interesting is he's straight up the only reason he's not just a serial killer mentat is because the Harkonnen like keeps him busy doing horrific things. And something about that is so interesting to me as the guy that spent the last 2 weeks listening to like nothing but serial killer podcasts. Like he is and we just never, it was a missed opportunity.
Are there any changes you guys actively just like?
Yeah. Duncan Idaho is pretty much just Jason Momoa in the world of Dune, but I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, as I was going through the book and when I was re-listening to it, when it got to the actual description of Idaho, I was like, oh shit, they just fucking nailed it, didn't they? Like Momoa basically just is Duncan Idaho.
Duncan's amazing. And and this is confusing, but he is the main character of God Emperor of Dune. I'm not going to explain how, just roll with it. So, they don't have plans to get that far, but I fucking hope we do, because I want Jason Momoa talking to a half man, half sandworm. But desperately want that. But I'm also just willing to let Jason Momoa be Jason Momoa, so hell yeah. The scene from the Harkonnen attack on Jason Momoa was perfect. He was already great before that, but like just from that moment, you have fucking destroyed my house. I will destroy you now. Pulling the blade out, saluting, and then, like, stabbing a bunch of people? Fuck yeah. I mixed two things there, but still, his death scene is perfectly done. Also, the ornithopters are the coolest fucking looking things of all time.
Cool. I was about to say, my biggest change that I liked was, in the book, the ornithopters are described as being a lot more avian.
Oh, I always thought of them as, like, helicopters, but I think I blamed the 1984 Dune for that.
Oh, yeah, no, they have, like, bird wings, basically.
Oh, that's cool.
Okay.
And the change to make them basically like dragonflies.
That's
where I knew I fell in love with this version of the movie in the theaters, when they started flying the ornithopters and the care was taken that all of those wings are moving individually. And I don't know enough aerodynamics to know if it was like proper, but it was consistent with the way that they were moving around, and everything was, and I was like, the attention to detail. Thank you.
Every time one of those showed up, CC spent the whole time being like, that's so fucking cool.
Also, all of the ships. Fucking cool.
The scale.
Something I wanted to make a point to bring up while I was here was, the scale, like, I mean, I saw it in the theater, and seeing these ships in the theater is, I guess, you can't see this, listeners, but I mean, my eyes are visibly getting wider. Like
the Guild Freighter
in his chair.
Yeah,
the Guild Freighter.
It's so big.
Shit.
Well, and the ways that they established, like, because I mean, it's hard to do perspective in space because it's
big,
incomprehensibly big to human minds, and the way that they managed to show scale of this ship versus the planet
versus the normal ships
versus that.
And they keep showing like tiny things coming out of it and then going up, and you're like, oh, that's fucking huge too.
And when the Atreides ships are leaving Caladan and we get to watch them lift out of the water and with just this massive metallic groans as they do that. Also, the idea of just, oh yeah, we just store an entire space navy in our ocean.
Look, it's Caladan. You don't have that many options.
That's fair. That's fair.
But I mean, the scale of the ships, and I don't know. I found myself paying a lot of attention to the technology. I mean, Zach and I have talked at length about how the technology kind of is in that universe, and from my perspective, it's been a lot of kind of comparing it to Warhammer, since Warhammer just rips a lot of that straight out of it.
Blind.
Yes.
And the inclusion of showing us as much of the battle scene as we were given, because I don't feel like we weren't really given much of that in the book. It was kind of, okay, shields are like, okay, Duncan's drunk, the shields are down.
The battles in the books are from the viewpoints of characters that are having to be kept safe during the battles. So they get snippets at best, and then they're whisked away somewhere.
Yeah,
and then they do a great job of this one, of it's not a battle, it's a slaughter.
Yeah, yeah, and the book gave us, I guess, 2 additional bits of the battle that I thought were important. We get to see Gurney and his fellas afterwards, and we get to see Thufir and his fellas afterwards, and how they're just demolished. But I feel like especially with how shields work in Dune, that battle scene showed that off in so many ways. Not just, and I really liked that they showed it not just in how your troops are fighting, but when they are blowing up the Atreides ships. Like, you watch that bomb come, and then, okay, let me just and boom, and the whole thing is blown to shit. And I found that the way, the lengths that they went to show us, here is what warfare looks like in this far future where everything's got shields and you have extreme limits on what you can do with guns by virtue of shields.
I wish they had even some kind of throwaway line about how dangerous it is for shields to interact with atomic weapons.
Lasers.
Atomic weapons, too. Because that comes up in the book. Atomics is a large part of the story.
I felt like with the atomics, they were largely talking about how it's considered, okay, yeah, we do a lot in warfare. Even that's too far, though, because of the sheer devastation that it does. I feel...
Yeah, there's rules on who you can use atomics on.
And then he fucking uses them at the end of the book. It's a huge moment. But I also understand that this is not the 60s and we don't have the same obsession anymore with atomics.
Yeah, you gotta get the family atomics.
We probably should have a bit bigger of an obsession with nuclear bombs still, because we still got them. But...
No, so now we get to just worry about hypersonic missiles instead.
So
I guess those are hypersonic atomic.
Kind of a related question to Change As You Like, and maybe a little bit harder to answer, so if you don't come up with something, whatever. But did the movie give you anything that you didn't know you needed? And I guess my own... Okay, because I was about to say, my own example was like, I didn't know that I needed to be introduced to the Sardaukar with throat singing. And it blew me the fuck away. And legitimately, ever since I watched that movie, every time I upload one of our podcasts, that's what I have on in the background, is just the Sardaukar
That was something
chant.
else I wanted to bring up. I have actually, my brother hasn't had a chance to see the movie yet. I made sure to send him because I said someone's made a 30-second clip of that. Also, someone has taken that chant and looped it for an hour.
Which is what I put on when I'm uploading podcasts.
And, I mean, I've listened to the hour-long one once, and I've listened to the 30-second one multiple times, and forced my brother to listen to it multiple times. And I looked at some of the YouTube comments talking about that scene, and someone was talking about, and I was trying to see if I could find it on my phone before we started recording, but I didn't look too hard. The way that in the book we get a lot of, or I shouldn't say a lot, but we get some bits of hey, here's where religion has gone in in this massive span of time. And I feel like we really got a good glimpse of that in the Sardaukar scene, because we've got this throat singing thing. The YouTube comment that I was trying to find, someone kind of broke it down. We've got the priests going around doing the blood marking, have kind of a Catholic robes kind of feel to them. We've got literally Aztec sacrifice style stuff, which I was not ready. Like, I was not ready for that.
The Orange Catholic Bible is such a cool idea. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
and we get, and like in this YouTube comment, like someone was talking about like how the this dude up in effectively a minaret, like they do in Islam, doing that shouting stuff. But then it also kind of, with how it was set up, I guess there's a thing in some Christianity style stuff where here's a priest that's like on top of a rock, fasting and praying and preaching from on top of that rock. So just the way that they combined for just this one scene in a way that they did not need to, but did anyway, to make this clearly a very ritualistic thing, but then have all these little bits and pieces come from all these different places to feed into that.
That scene is absolutely amazing for all those reasons you mentioned. I wanted to point out with the prisoners, Aztec sacrifice isn't necessarily off, especially with the amount that they were doing, but very specifically, they were crucified upside down, which in normal like pop culture imagery is usually associated with satanic stuff. The upside down cross is a Catholic symbol. It is the Peterine cross, because St. Peter refused to be crucified in the same way as Jesus, and thus was crucified upside down.
Okay.
That's some extra bullshit. I'm sorry. I'm not talking shit on anyone's religion, but like, damn, Peter.
And so, like you brought up, the Orange Catholic Bible is a big thing. So, like, having this weird, like, kind of twisted Catholic, like, imagery, but is also actually Catholic, because some of the verses that they bring up in the book are almost straight out of the Bible. But
one thing they didn't really explore is the whole concept of, what is it, Zuni Christian or Zuni Catholicism or something. The idea that a actual like group of religious scholars from the various different religions got together and cobbled together a single human religion out of it. Mm-hmm. And it started a few wars, but you only learn this if you read the little appendices and background stuff. It's Zen Sunni and Islamo-Catholicism or something like that. Or Catholic Buddhism. Something along those lines.
now I know I tend to be the one a lot more into who everybody is in Hollywood, but since he wasn't in this, you guys have any dream casting for Fade Routha?
I think he did appear for like a single... No, that might have been Peter. God... I recognize that it's got to be intimidating to do a Fade Routha when you already had fucking Sting do a not great but iconic Fade Routha. But not having him at all, and he's not huge in the first part, but like it feels almost like going too far the other direction. Lee Pace, if he was like 20 years younger.
Oh, yeah, true. He's getting a bit old.
I know I made fun of him
Fade is
before.
kind of supposed to be like the dark mirror to Paul in a way.
Uh-huh.
This is going to sound weird because we've seen him almost only as a good guy, but like I'm going to say Tom Holland.
Peter Parker himself?
Yeah.
Interesting.
You know what? Actually, I could see that because the thing, like, in my mental picturing, I don't know, like, I felt that the way they kind of chose to, hey, here is the Harkonnen aesthetic, I found interesting because it, like, it didn't quite, like, I mean, I could roll with it, but it was not what I was picturing in my head. But especially for Freud, like I could see Peter Parker as that because I pictured him as a lot more of a not built kind of guy. Like
no, he should be skinny and his head should always be a little tilted to the side, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, because the book really painted him as conniving, and like, especially in the later half of the book, he's he's conniving. He knows his poisons and what they, we get that whole scene that tells about, oh yeah, I go fight people with poisoned knives and then lecture people about what the poison is doing to this guy for sport. Like that's my hobby, and we get that whole scene. I don't see this depiction being like this. This depiction was brutish.
No, that's the Beast Raban, isn't it?
Yeah, that was the Beast.
That's his older brother.
Yeah, we haven't had Fade yet. We've only gotten Beast Raban.
Because they just had Drax play the Beast. The Beast is the one.
Wait, they swap. I swear they.
No, they call him Raban.
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Okay. I have a new change to complain about then. I guess
That there's no Fade and there's only Raban.
I literally thought that was supposed to be. I guess I must have not paid that
Drax's
much.
Fade is the most amazing idea I've ever heard of.
Look, in the book, where we get up to in this movie, at this point in the book,
He's only had the once.
Fade has only shown up physically twice. One time he literally just sits in this chair. And the other time is that scene that they cut with Piter.
Mm-hmm.
And otherwise, he doesn't appear until after Paul even drinks the water of life, when we have the Baron introducing him to Count Fenring.
If you don't...
Which actually, his introduction to Count Fenring would be an amazing way to introduce him to audiences as well.
If you don't mention, and they didn't do this in the 84 Dune, and I heard him there as well, if you don't mention that Paul was supposed to be a girl, and he was supposed to marry Fade, and they would create the Kwisatz Haderach, the scale of Fade's importance...
They mentioned he was supposed to be a girl.
Yes, but they don't mention that he was supposed to be wed to a Harkonnen to create the ultimate being.
Which I guess I think is more evidence of, I don't think they're going to be going that genetic angle as much for this adaptation.
What about casting the Emperor?
Michael Caine. I don't know why. I feel like he could play a rich old dipshit.
Kyle MacLachlan.
Kyle MacLachlan? Oh my god. The classic Paul Atreides, that's perfect. He's actually pretty good, too. Patrick Stewart, just another, stunt casting of the old one. Oh, God, who would be a good one? Morgan Freeman. No, actually, I think that would be terrible.
I don't know, I just want to be Kyle MacLachlan.
It would be too much of a stunt cast to really work with how serious they're taking this, but not enough people would get it for it to really matter. Neil McDonough.
Oh, Neil McDonough would be awesome. Oh, that's fucking great.
He played... Do you ever watch The Flash, Arrow, those things?
Only.
Okay. Did you watch Captain America: The First Avenger?
I don't think I saw that one.
I have nothing for you. This guy's a lot of fun.
He chews a lot of scenery.
Jeremy Irons.
Jeremy Irons would be fucking amazing.
Scar. He's nodding. You can't see it. He's nodding.
Is there anything you guys wanted to bring up that we haven't been able to cover by me asking these questions?
Does it count as a thing if I said I wish that I had had time to memorize the Sardaukar chant so I could have just launched into that and have that be an entire statement?
I've used the Litany Against Fear to stop actual panic attacks, so I kind of wish we had gotten a little more of that. I think only thing I have to say, just because we haven't mentioned her at all, and we need to, is Zendaya.
Oh, yeah. She's
not a huge part of the story yet, but she's not supposed to be. Shani will be much more in part two.
Oh, somebody told me a breakdown of it the other day. I think she's on screen for 11 minutes. I think she had one shooting day. But she's a big part because she's a recurring part. Her part is spread through the entire movie, but
she's not a huge part of the story up to the part they stopped at. So I
I
wanted more, but there's no way we could have fit Shani in more already. I was super sold by her on the scene though, where she gives him her knife, and she's like, "This was my great uncle's knife, or great aunt someone's knife. You will die with it, but that will be a good honor for you to die with this knife. So make sure you're still holding the knife when he kills you." I'm like, that's why I like the Fremen. It's that. right there.
I miss just because it's one of the important things when Paul really starts understanding how his powers work.
Tell me of your homeworld, Usul.
Yeah, tell me the water's your homeworld, Usul, is what he originally hears early in the book, and then later on you know that a change has happened because she tells me, she says, what is it? It's like, tell me of the seas of your homeworld, Paul Muad'Dib.
Yeah, there's a few basic words, and he's like, "There's hope." But they kind of did much more subtle ways of like, you're already changing the future. I don't know if I would have gotten the way they're doing them if I hadn't read the book before. He's like imagining different ways that she stabs him and then like changing it.
Yeah.
And the guy that he kills at one point is like, "Come with me and I will take you on a land of something adventure." Other thing, the actress who played Dr. Liet Kynes.
Oh yeah, I don't have her in front of me.
She's a white dude in the book, or at least a dude. I don't think it's specifically portrayed as white. He just has gone native. She's really good in the role. I really enjoyed her. And I'm sure she pissed off the people that I love pissing off with casting.
Sharon Duncan Brewster. That's who played Liet Kynes. I missed, I would say the part they toned down the absolute most in this movie is the ecology aspect of the book.
They always do. This is a time where it would have been really... I understand this movie's already very full, but like... It's 2021. We get to talk about climate change every chance we get.
See,
and I feel like Kynes suffered from that, but I liked how Sharon Brewster Duncan portrayed her, and it was like I barely even noticed the gender swap, and I like her ending in this because it gives us an awesome shot of the worm, but I do miss her blowing up on the spice.
Yeah, but when she's like
bubble.
beating her fist, summoning the worm, you're like, "Oh, you're dead." The other thing that they left out of her that is, she had some level of actual leadership in the Fremen rebellion.
Oh yeah,
going down.
Well, to the point where
they had a name for her that I can't.
Oh no, they were Liet.
Oh, is it just Liet?
Yeah.
Liet's not her actual first name.
And then in this one, it's just her first, because I think they call her Dr. Liet Kynes in this. I could be wrong.
I can't remember for sure.
I know that when they're at the ecology station, the Fremen there all refer to her as Liet. But I did feel more like they said it as a title than that's your name. So
This is why I've argued that Dune should be redone as a TV show if you're going to redo it, because there's so much happening.
Miniseries, limited series.
Despite the sci-fi one being very boring because it's about 8 hours long with no breaks, it's, I think, the best way to do it. That said, I think they did an extremely good job.
This
with
one
what they had
feels like the book to me.
More?
Yeah,
even with the things I miss.
Like,
although I'll say it's still not the book.
No.
Yeah, no.
But it is good enough in its own right, I think. As someone who knows Dune both very well and not well at all, because it's hard to know Dune very well, it was close enough in the spirit that I was able to accept some of the spots.
I felt that they, especially showing us, I feel like they really did a good job of it with the shots on Caladan, of like bringing together like the scale of history with, here is, super advanced technology, with also here's a bunch we have stuff that's literally done in more ancient approaches, because that's how this universe has to be. Like, I mean, their palace on Caladan is made out of stone. Yet
they're all using swords.
Well, I would still.
That's a shield thing.
Yeah, I mean, they do the swords completely by necessity, because the shields mean projectile weapons just are not going to cut it anymore. But we get this, we get that shot where we have this ship that is elegant in its own way. The ship is, but the Atreides ship is bulky and blocky. I mean, it looks like, okay, yeah, this is a thing. Like, I don't know, I got the feel of, we've been using the same model of ship for a very long time. Like, it got that combination of, yes, technology is, this is extremely high technology. Also, it's kind of peaked. This is where it kind of stops. We get, they layered that. I mean, I guess for lack of a better way to put it, they captured the essence of it that later inspired Warhammer, of this decaying, like this high technology, but also decaying, everything's falling apart kind of feel. And I mean, Dune doesn't have as much of that decaying element, but you can still see,
but
like,
it's peaked.
Yeah. Like,
it becomes very clear in later books, too, that, like, civilization would have died. Humanity would have died if this didn't happen. You can debate whether that's a good thing or not, but, like...
Yeah, and I guess I feel for not having dialogue include a lot of the... And maybe I'm mixing this up with later parts of the book, but for not having the dialogue have as much of the, humanity's going to beef it if we don't do something, that the Bene Gesserit, their entire thing.
Fuck the Bene Gesserit.
I felt that they did a good job of kind of very quietly showing us that this civilization is old, and not in the storied history way, but this is tired old. This is slowly but steadily dying old. I feel like it's very subtle, but there. And maybe I'm projecting what I want to see onto it, but I felt
if you're seeing it, you're seeing it. I hadn't thought about that, and I had something else, but I'm kind of blanking it right now, and it was not nearly as, like, in-depth as your thought there. It was like, I like the ships. It was...
I mean, the ships are fucking good.
I mostly just wanted, like, the couple things that I just wanted to bring up was, like, I thought it was really neat that it was pretty obvious that Villeneuve kept with the Harkonnens having a Giger-inspired theme.
Yeah.
As
the
a
guy
nod.
who made Alien. Like, designed Alien.
Designed Alien.
Okay.
Because Giger was originally in charge of all the Harkonnen shit for the Jodorowsky Dune.
On those same lines, I thought it was a real interesting choice not to show the sandworm until almost all the way through the movie.
Mm-hmm.
For most, just doing kind of the Sarlacc-style teeth. When, again, in David Lynch, and we'll bring it up more next week, we see the sandworm almost... They're like, we're on Dune. Time to see some sandworms!
One of my favorite, just like, I watch way too many movies, so I've started to notice some of these things a little bit more, but beautifully just foreshadowed scenes, even if you didn't already know it was coming because we've read the book. Paul and Leto... Leto instigates his talk about Paul's future in politics and bringing him in onto the council right after he gets done visiting his own father's grave and as they walk amongst the gravestones of their family.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I suppose, that is a thing actually I would add to the I missed pile, is I felt like the book makes it very clear that Leto knows his back is to the wall and he is screwed in every way, shape, or form. And he's going to give a good fight of it, but he knows it is a fight he is going to lose.
They have bits of it here, but not nearly as strongly in the book, where he's like, I'm going to die, but I'm going to aim for that 1 in 100 chance that if I don't die, I win.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I felt like the book did a really good job of showing, like, everyone is pretty much on board with this understanding of, well, fuck. All right, we're going to try, but well, fuck. And I feel like especially in the scene where we see Gurney leading leading the charge, with just the little comments that Gurney makes in that scene, it felt a lot more like they were not expecting this at all, or at least nowhere near to the extent that they do in the book. And I feel like that shows...
in the book, the force that shows up is literally double what their estimates were.
Yes, but...
Because they do give specific numbers on what their estimates were and what actually shows up later on.
And traps that they weren't ready for was part of it. They're like, oh, we knew an attack was coming, but we didn't know that, like, they had beaten our... Because they didn't know about UA, so they didn't know that they had, like, beaten their shields.
Yeah, and I did... And I mean, I guess... I don't know, I suppose maybe that's... I suppose... Yeah, I guess, I don't know, I felt like, especially because the book gives us a lot of description of, like, oh yeah, Leto looks like his face literally looks like it's a skull in this like imagery in this scene, and I feel like I think it worked for the movie to not have it be, I suppose, as heavy-handed as the book went with it.
Herbert is not subtle.
But
it is subtly there. Like, here's your future in politics. I'm handing it over to you in the graveyard of our ancestors.
You're gonna die. I can see where they did bits of it. I agree that there was, and partly because we never got that scene that you talked about missing with Peter and the Baron, we don't ever really see the full plan. Intricacies of the plan in the same way.
Plans within plans.
Plans within plans with plans. If you don't mention the Imperial conditioning and how that's supposed to be unbreakable, you don't see how much of a coup it is that they swayed Yue. And if you don't have that, Yue seems like a very obvious weakness that they're not accounting for when they seem to be accounting for so many other things.
Well, in a lot of ways, the Bene Gesserit and Mentats have the same weakness in that they process information in certain ways, but if you put bad information in, you get bad information out.
Yeah.
And so nobody was able to account for Yue because the only information they had was, this is unbreakable.
And there were also a few hints of, like, Lady Jessica, that if they hadn't thought Yue is unbreakable, they would have taken a closer looks and been like, all right, that doesn't work as well. And instead they were like, that doesn't really work, but it's literally all we got, so I don't...
Because Yue wasn't good at hiding it.
No, Yue was fucking dog shit at life. He was There's a scene in the book where he's like, why? Why didn't my Wana give me children? I'm like, because you suck!
God damn it, Dr. Yue.
And I forgot to mention it earlier, but also ever since reading the book, I've been part of a Facebook Siege posting group.
Oh, I think I joined that for a little while.
And one of the things, I don't know if this is actually accurate, but one of the things that I wanted to pass along that I thought was a super awesome bit of trivia that I noticed pop up in the group, once again, don't know if it's accurate. In Paul's vision, when you see the... Rebecca Ferguson, fucking Lady Jessica, and like sitting down and like she's holding Aaliyah and like she has the writing on her face and stuff. That is the litany against fear in Fremen.
Oh, that'd be cool. That would make sense.
That would be fun.
And that's the kind of stuff Villeneuve does. I don't think I've said that name right once. I will warn you that if you watch this and you're like, oh shit, I think I like Dune, and you want to dive into the internet, be careful. A whole shit ton of Aryan fuckheads have desperately missed the point of Dune and get caught up in the like, yeah, fuck yeah, Atreides the same way I do, but they turn it super racist super fast. I like the Atreides the same way I like Klingons. I don't necessarily want to live with them. But some people are like, see, Paul proves Hitler was right. And you're like, oh boy, you back right the fuck off. Like,
oh, and there's one other, I don't know. I know Villeneuve has said that he has possible interest in adapting Dune Messiah to at least finish off Paul's story.
I think he says he wants to do a trilogy and then use bits of Dune Messiah for it.
He's not going to go farther, for sure. Basically, is what he said.
Okay.
But I do feel like he might have, I don't know, this has always stuck out to me. The very first time the Baron rises up in this, I think is supposed to be a visual nod to Leto II in the future.
Possibly. It does have that
the
long
silhouette
drape going with it. And yeah. Also,
just going to chime in on that. I thought the imagery that they did I felt that they did do a very good job, a lovely job with imagery for the Baron.
That's why I wanted so much more of it.
Yeah.
Bathing in oil was super over the top. That was a political
and
message
tar.
right there.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
God. Ugh.
I feel like you don't hire Jason Momoa to play Duncan fucking Idaho without plans to use him more.
At
the very least, and again, I'm going to give away stuff without explaining, Duncan's a significant character from after the first book. So, like, there's plenty of places to use him. But again, why would you not have him talking to a giant half-worm, if you don't have that, like... I want Jason Momoa to sass Leto too.
I know. I'm sure there's a certain portion of people being like, what the fuck are they talking about? And they probably want to ask a lot of questions.
I'm glaring at you. I
fucking nailed that one.
If it makes you feel better, I have read God Emperor of Dune. It's one of my favorite things I've ever read. I don't know what the fuck is going on either. That's not the point.
You also want axolotl questions.
I'm gonna walk out of this room, Tyler. Do we want to do recommendations? Do we have any last thoughts on this one?
I think
I've got like a million, but I've also not got not that many more at the same time.
Yeah.
So
I know I touched on the big stuff I wanted to.
Yeah, I'm good.
all right, I'll go first on recommendations. Then I'm gonna do a little different than I've usually do because I'm not doing a specific piece of media, but I am going to recommend a specific author. Ron Mars is one of the most reliable comic book authors around. He created Kyle Rayner, my favorite Green Lantern. He did epic runs on Silver Surfer, a bunch of other stuff. And I have been reading, I mentioned it last time, I've started reading Witchblade. And I was like, fucking yeah, Witchblade, Magdalena, who's a character who appears in it. Both of these characters are awesome. How would I never get this? And I went and got old issues of their stuff and went, oh, I might just really like Ron Mars's writing. As opposed to
the characters
as much. Because I can see how it's kind of cool, but like, this is But fuck, Ron Mars's stuff was good. Same thing with Cyberforce, although I really do enjoy Cyberforce. Not as much as Wildcats. He does recent Justice League stuff. He's got a new Silver Surfer series coming out. He did a huge fucking crossover for Dynamite that includes Ash from Evil Dead and Red Sonja.
Oh, okay.
And I want to read it so bad.
That's awesome. Hell yeah. Will, do you have one?
I'm not sure I do this time around.
All right.
I think I've been deep diving too much on Deep Rock Galactic. I guess that's going to be my recommendation.
Deep Rock Galactic!
Play Deep Rock Galactic.
I'll let you in on a
Rockin'
behind-the-scenes secret. Most of our recommendations are shit that we've watched or read within the last 2 weeks that we just...
Oh, no, I saved mine for last because mine is the biggest cop-out. My recommendation is that you go watch the 1984 David Lynch Dune.
Because that's what we're doing next time! Also, because I legitimately love it, and I'm super looking forward to re-listening to the book so I can see if I, don't just exclusively use imagery from the Lynch version anymore.
If you missed lines quoted exactly in the Villeneuve version, get ready for it.
Food is for cattle and love play. Oh, God, Patrick Stewart, you're so perfect. But that is next time. William, you'll be back for that, so cool. Anything else we gotta do? I think
No,
that's
I'm good.
it. All right. We're your Generals Nerdery. I'm Zach.
I'm Tyler.
I'm William.
Dismissed.
Hi, everybody. General Tyler here. If you like the show, please hit subscribe however you're listening to us right now. Also, if you could rate and review us however you're listening to us right now, or preferably over at Apple Podcasts, we would super appreciate it, as the whole world is around on algorithms, and we want to be all up in them, getting our voice out to more places. Also, tell your friends. We always appreciate that. If you want to get in contact with us, ask us questions, give us comments, email us generalnerderypod@gmail.com. You can also contact us through our website, www.generalnerdcast.com. While you're there, check out all of our back catalog, or click the links up at the top, as we are part of the Earworm Podcast Network. Go check out all of our sister shows. We're involved with most of them, so if you already like listening to us talk, it might be in your best interest. And if you want to check out everything from the network, head over to earworm.com, EARVVYRM.com. We'd super appreciate it. Love you all. Have a good one.